So how we run it, and I'm not the type of person that tells like what we do. We just do what we do, but the volume of it. So in the off season, we don't do a lot of running. A lot of programs will run, we don't. Mainly because our kids play track and basketball, and then they go to their independent trainers and all this other stuff. So if we were to run them in the off season, they're going to overtrain. So we strictly, we stick to just the weights. But then when you get in the summertime and practice starts, we're doing the same basic things. We're still getting bigger, stronger, and faster, more explosive, but we're backing off the volume. So, we might have a heavy volume leg day in February where we're hitting, I don't want you to be able to walk out of here. Like, you're not gonna walk. Everything's gonna burn, you're gonna be on the ground, you're gonna be puking. And in, the summertime or the season, we'll still do that, but we're backing off of the volume. So we're still getting bigger, we're still getting stronger, we're still hitting the same kind of hypertrophy reps ranges, but instead of sets of 10, we're probably gonna do sets of 4, maybe sets of 5. Back off the weight a little bit. Some places, they're big on data and they're big on tracking things. And they have these velocity-based cameras that measure the bar speed and it spits out all this cool data. This kid moved the bar, this wattage for this, and all that stuff's great. We don't have it. If I had it, I'd use it, but that's, I don't look at data to measure them. I just talk to them and I watch them. I know my kids who work the hardest, and when they start to look like they're fatiguing, and they come in like, oh man, like I'm dead today. I know I have to back my stuff off because practice is not going to back off. We'll hit days where the kids will come up to me and, their sheets say to do this number. And, Hayden Taminia came up the other day and it's like, this is really light. And it was a heavy day. All right, we're going to bump your max up a little bit. But, the important thing that you got to realize, especially with football and any sport, is they have to play. They have to be at their top peak when they play, not in the weight room. So the weight room is a tool to make them better. So a lot of it is just talking to them, visually watching the room. Somebody hurt, somebody not hurt. How am I going to adjust this? Whether they're eating or not. All those things, have a contributing factor to how are they going about the season. You're going to get bigger, stronger, faster. That's just going to happen. Plus, they're getting older and growing. The biggest thing that you got to focus on is the mental aspect of it. So the maturity, I want to come in and work. I want to do the extra. I want to do this. I want to win. I want to, all those things mentally are far more important than just getting bigger, stronger, and faster. So common misconceptions, you're looking at weight room records. How much am I maxing? What is the data saying? The weight room is not important. A lot of programs, especially in high school, it's not as important, so they'll skip days and this and that. But when you're looking at the big picture of it, you have a lot of programs, especially in college, they're big on data. They're huge on data. They have the cameras and the GPS systems and all this stuff, but they're missing the point. So no football player in history has ever gone on a football field and got points off of how much you bench, squat, clean, or how fast the bar moves. Like, all those things are important, but when it comes down to it is, are you going to show up? Are you going to play? Are you confident? And are you going to win? So the biggest thing that we do, and the other one, especially in high school, is you see in the weight room, everybody wants to compete, right? At the end of the day, I hear strength coaches in high school talk about it all the time, and even coaches is, every day in the weight room, we're going to end on competition. We're going to compete at something. We're going to compete. Competing is a losing mentality. So if you're just there to compete, that means you haven't prepared to win. So when we show up to a competition, all of our kids, we show up to 7-on-7s or games or any kind of contest, we are going to win. We have done everything in our power, the lifting, the running, the practice, the film, everything. We've done everything to prepare. We're winning. You're going to lose. We're going to win. You can compete and you can get 1% better all you want, but make no mistake, we have a winning mentality and we are not here to compete with you. I think the biggest, there's a lot of them. The biggest one that sticks, I'll go to last year because it's pretty much kind of the same team. And you have Ja'Cory Stewart. So the last play of the game, you have Ja'Cory intercepts it, seals the game, pick six, helmet comes ripping off, and you see the big smile on his face and him just make a beeline for our student section, right? And I think that really goes to the culture and the type of kids that we have and the program that we have is he had no stars, no offers before his, the end of his junior year, and he's doing everything the right way. And then he hits a moment like that, where it's probably the most memorable moment in GHSA Championship history, right? The biggest smile on his face as he's streaking down the field. The whole team runs out and they're running with him. Not one kid said anything to the other team. It wasn't about, we beat you and hot, there's nothing malicious about it. It was a team celebrating something, going to the student section, celebrating that. And I think that's really what sports is about. It's evolved to, it's not, khaki pants, polo, I scored, here's the ball, ref. It's, here's the ball, ref, and then I'm going to go celebrate. You have that in everything in society. Soccer does it. All these sports do it. And you want to celebrate these kids when they do something great, right? So, that to me, especially, you look at, the GHSA just put a picture of Ja'Cory right there and that big, huge smile on his face. Like, this is something everybody's always going to remember. And that in itself, that kid just embodies this program.
Practice for state week is, it's an important week. You got to get all your preparation ready, but it's really nothing more than just going out there and executing as one team. You've done it all year long, so you just got to do it one more week.
Leading up to the state championship game, we know we had a plan of what we wanted to do on the state championship. So we know we had to go hard and give all we can, one last drive for the seniors. So it was very competitive in practice. We gave it our all because it was our last week of high school football for the seniors.
Coaches definitely intensified the practices. You can definitely feel it, how hard the coaches were going. But then, we were also having fun. Especially with the receivers group, we had to go on scout team for the starting defense. And I beat Ty, and me and CJ ran down there, and I spun the ball, and we were just laughing the whole time. It was funny.
I could definitely feel the intensity a lot higher that week. It was a serious game that we were going into, but it almost felt like a victory lap for me because I've been here. One of the guys been here for all 4 years. I've been here a long time. I'm just reminiscing on all the practices when I was younger, and coaches really pouring into me and making me a better player. So that practice, it was intense, but it was also one of my favorite practices. It was very calming for me.
Honestly, everyone's motor was just really turned up. Honestly, it was really intense. And I feel like everyone just really wanted it, really badly.
Look, they are not better than you. They're not better than us, I should say. They haven't been all year. All they have to do between now and Tuesday is find a way to be better than you that night. That's all they have to do. They got to find a way to be better than you on Tuesday night. Not all year, not all season. So that's what we're preparing for. Is making sure all of our I's are dotted, all of our T's are crossed, preparing for this game with everything we got, so that whatever they're doing over there, whatever best shot we get from them, it is not better than yours on Tuesday night. That's what we're focused on.
One of the things, so we meet as a staff, but when we meet with the kids on Monday, we meet actually in this room. It's the offensive line, the tight ends, and the running backs, and then our long snapper is an honorary lineman, so he's allowed to come in too. And we just basically talk about the previous week, just very quickly. We touch on it, and then we kind of make it a point to say, like, that one's over, now it's on to the next one. And reminding kids about our goals. Like, we got to dial in, and then, start talking about game plan and personnel, and by now it's, the kids are so used to how we do it, just Mondays we put it to bed, and then we're on to the next one.
So it all starts on Monday, kind of the first time we see them after school. We'll watch film with them. So we'll go through the scout report, kind of talk about, the things that we as coaches did over the weekend, show them some film on that, and then transition it out to the field and our defense. The scout guys and the priority guys do a great job of giving us a look throughout the week so that we're able to see, really the best look at it that we're going to see up until Friday night. And then just with those guys, just kind of having the resiliency that if something changes, we're able to adjust it on the fly on Fridays and kind of move on based on what they're doing.
As the season progresses, we kind of go through phases. When the summer starts, there's a heavy focus on the pass game. We're doing a lot of 7-on-7 camps at UGA and Georgia Tech and things like that. So over the summer, we focus mainly on the pass game and receiver skills. If you play tight end, you're probably a naturally gifted receiver, so that's kind of where we start. And then once we kind of get back from dead week and once we finish those 7-on-7 camps and get ready for fall camp, that's when we'll kind of transition and start to spend a pretty good amount of time with the offensive line. That's traditionally where we kind of start practice every day, working on our footwork and our steps and things like that, and understanding the box and the design and the scheme of the defense we're playing that week. But these guys that I've got over the last couple of years at tight end, they're so highly motivated. They're intrinsically driven, or they're internally driven. So whatever we don't have a chance to get work in during practice, they're gonna go get that work in outside. Whether it's staying after getting on the jugs machine, whether it's going to velocity to work on their blocking, whether it's getting work with Coach Drew after, that makes my job easy because there's only a certain amount of time that we have during practice where I've only got 10 minutes to catch passes today versus I've got 30 to work on run blocking. Well, we need to try and make that up some other way, but whatever we don't get to, the kids, Ryan, Grant, Dylan, Ethan, they have really put in the work off the field because they care. It means a lot to them and it matters to them to be good and efficient with their sets of skills in both the pass and the run game. So that kind of makes my job pretty easy.
All the work you've done, all the days we've had together, literally, all you have to do when you show back up on Sunday is have 3 great days. It all comes down to having 3 great days and you will win a ring. We'll edit that banner up there. It'll never come down. It's 3 days.
So every week is different and every team has different tendencies. We have a few non-negotiables of what they need to identify pre-snap, and it's a lot. Is the tight end to my side? Is the running back to my side? Is the sniffer to my side? What am I sitting on during those plays? But also, what are their splits? If their splits are loose, are they running this play? If their splits are tight, do I need to sit on this play? Then you also have to coach them to know situational football down and distance and just where the game is going at the time. We want to sit on tendencies and what we think is going to happen, but at the end of the day, they can run anything, they can come out anything, and we still got to be just prepared to play football.
High school is a little different. I mean, when you say you're 3-4 or 4-3 or a stack or whatever somebody says out loud, I always kind of chuckle at people because I always think, well, you're really kind of dictated by who you have. Like one year we may have a 5'10", 210-pound nose is super fast, or we may have a 6'3", 300-pound nose. A lot of it's just based in the fact that, like, where do they fit together to make the best 11 we can put on the field? And I think when we start in the spring, the number one thing I put on the board for our staff and our players is we're going to find the best 11 and we're going to put them on the field. And however that fits, whether we end up being a 3-4, a 4-2-5, whatever that ends up being, we're going to put our best 11 out there because it gives us the best chance to win. Now, in a perfect world, we get 11 backups who are just as good, but we don't always have that, so we're trying to build depth. But when we start, the idea of who plays where, I think as you get a little older coaching, you kind of find that it's more nuanced than you think. It's based on the kids you have. I can't go recruit anybody. I can't go find anybody. I got to take the kids and walk in the building and figure out how they fit the best 11 together. And that's how we structure our defense. It's not so much I would love to look for the perfect body type every time, but it's more based on the kids we have and how they fit overall 11.
You know, Luke's one of my best friends. Since 7th grade, we've been tight. On the field, we're always pushing each other to be better. That carries off the field. Like, no matter what we're doing, if we're on the golf course, we're always trying to see who can shoot the lowest, or if we're playing NCAA or something, we're always competing. It's a lot of fun. We have a really good relationship.
Me and Cooper have a great relationship. I feel like we're brothers on and off the field. You know, we joke around a lot, but also have the serious moments. But I just feel like me and him get along so well. Just have that brother next to me and someone that I can trust and lean on. He's just super cool.
Look, just feel this for a minute, man. If you're cold, if you're wet, it's because you still got a chance to win a ring. Guys that are dry right now, that are warm, they don't have this chance. All right? Y'all earned it today. I'm proud of you. Y'all earned it today. We got to lock in tomorrow, put the polish and shine on, and Tuesday come out ready to go and do it one more time.
You know, these guys are competitors, and we always say that one of the worst things you can be in the world is a hypocrite. And if you say you're a competitor, if you say you're a champion, you got to go earn that every day. That's not something that, you know, you do once and the debt's paid forever. Is we say you have to go out and pay the rent every single day. And I think to motivate those guys, you just remind them of that, is that who are you on the inside? Are you a competitor or are you not? Are you a champion or are you not? And, you know, those things usually work themselves out.
I say this about our team this year. I don't know if I'll ever get to coach the same type of team. I may get to coach the same amount of good players, or a team that wins 15 games, or all of those accolades. And what I mean by the type of team is that this group, from, you know, day one that I was here to up to this point with them, but specifically this season, really took about business. And they also had fun at the same time. That's hard to do. You can be good in your job and you can be good in your play. In order to make them both the same, it takes some maturity, it takes some, you know, trust and love in each other. And every week I kept trying to give them a narrative to believe in. And that changes most of the time, but about midway through the season, my narrative kept going back to, why do you play? You know, why do you play this game? You play it because you love it. Not because you're going to get paid for it or you're going to win this game or not. No, it's because the guy right there, he's your best friend. Make sure that you continue to honor that and get another week of that. And I just tell you what, man, after Thursday practices, those guys, I would leave and I wouldn't tell them to do this. They would shake each other's hands and then hug each other and say, I'm not going to let you down this week. We're going to be here on Monday. That part, on top of all the skills and athleticism and points and touchdowns, I feel like is what is super valuable about the game of football, is that it teaches people to trust in each other for the same goal and not let your teammate down. This team never did that and never let each other down. You know, they always stood on that. And I think that's the legacy that, you know, our brotherhood should be. And of course they won all these games and they deserve all of the accolades and trophies that they earned. But from now until another team replaces that, this will be the standard of, you need to go about business like these guys did. So I'm proud of every one of them, and they've changed my life, and I've told them that, and I love them.
We were able to really reflect on our work that we had done all spring and summer. We worked very hard in the summer, just installing and perfecting things that we may not use in August, but at some point we're gonna have to, you know, recall that information and use. And so due to prior work and previous work, we didn't really have to stress a whole lot about what are we gonna run, what do we have to put in. We kind of knew what we wanted to do. We had some things installed already just due to our summer work. So we went out and just practiced and did what we did.
Yeah, so this is, I think, starts with Coach Reeves. I think he's done a great job of setting an expectation and making it very clear that we are going to get everyone's best shot. It doesn't matter how good these teams are or are not. We're going to get everyone's best shot. And that's one of the reasons we've got a shirt with a bullseye on it, because we know everyone's coming for us. And so I think accepting and understanding that expectation and understanding that you are going to get everyone's best shot, that at the end of the day, it's not about the other team. It's about us. And we've said many a time this year to the kids, as well as in our coaches meetings, that the only team that can beat us this year is us. And so if we just continue to focus on us and continue to focus on improving daily, then there's no one out there that can stop us. And the kids have really kind of taken to that message and really taken it to heart, because there are days where it feels like practice is a grind. It's not flowing, and it's not exactly as fun as it could be, but we're pushing through it, and we understand that at the end of the day, it's up to us, because if we do not come out with the results at the end of the season that we are expecting, that it's on no one's fault but ourselves. And so having that understanding makes it very easy to go out and prepare hard and stay focused and stay locked in week to week.
In terms of the game, thinking about it, and I will talk more about this tomorrow, but a couple seeds I want to plant in your head. There's really only two ways that we can lose to this team. Two ways we can lose to this team, and it all goes back to bet, like everything does. It's the E, the effort. If they play harder than you, if they want it more than you, they can beat you. You can't lose a play. You can't leave any energy in your body. You got to put it all on the field. All right, seniors, last practice, man. I'm proud of you guys. Appreciate all you've done for the program. I truly think y'all left everything on this field. There's nothing left on this field. But I'm not going to say goodbye or anything like that, because when you are a champion, when you win championships, there are no goodbyes. You are forged forever when you win a championship, forever. So I'm just going to plan on that. No goodbyes. It's just I'll see you later, post tomorrow, because we'll have the parade, the banquet, the 5-year celebration, the 10-year celebration. This group will always be forged together, always, when you win a championship like we're going to do tomorrow night. All right, so let's go get it. It was a special moment. We talk about just playing for the community, playing for, the school, and sometimes whenever you're on the field on a Friday night, you really block all that out. You're so zoned in to just the game and what's going on that you don't even look up in the stands sometime, and that's just the focus that we have and the focus this team had. So to see that and feel that as we walked down the hallways and as we drove through the community, it was just a good reminder of all the people that do cheer for us, do pull for us, and all the support that this program does have.
It's just all about a routine. That routine of just getting off the bus, getting in the locker room, getting your equipment set up, getting your pads on, then going out to stretch, and then following your coaches through our warm-up and our pride lines. I think it's just once we just continue doing that and bring some normality to a different place, that's how we're able to handle that nerve and excitement.
Oh, man. I think it's still trying to hit me a little bit. Because me and Coach Reed's we go way back, all the way back to when he was a wide receiver coach at Collins Hill. So, of course, I'm older, and he's the one person I said, if you ever get a head coaching job and you need me to coach, I'll come out of retirement for you. And dang if he didn't call me this year. So last year, I was in the stands, rooting on my guys, everybody I train, things like that. And this year, I'm on the sidelines. And everybody keeps telling me, we got to get you one, because I'm kind of the new guy. So when the kids are in their group threads and they're like, "Coach, you ready? You know, it's gonna be exciting," and all those things like that. I think I got not jitters, but I'm just anxious. I don't show a lot of emotions, but I think Lee County got the most emotions out of me because it just felt personal, and this one right here is gonna even be more personal. So.
After we do our individual drills during pregame, we always have the running back circle up and we have a moment of silence, and I tell them, like, you just reflect, think about what's ahead, pray, whatever it is you do, whatever it is you want to do, it's your time. We all have hands and we all circle up together, hands on each other's shoulders, and take about 10 seconds just to pause and take in the moment. And then we look up and look in each other's eyes and just knowing what's at stake and knowing the gravity of the situation and knowing it's about to be fun too. Like that, we all volunteer our time and dedicate so much to the sport and to football, and then they sacrifice their bodies and themselves mentally and physically. They deserve to have fun. And I think that moment is a time to really take everything in, to let the big gravity of the situation, whether it be an ESPN game, whether it be a state title game, let that take hold for a moment and then let that pass and just realize, hey, we're out here together playing a sport against somebody else that wants to do the same, and we're here to have fun. And I think in that moment, it really just brings joy to me, and hopefully it does to them too, knowing what we're about to do together, because it's a bond that it's hard to find anywhere else. Football bond, whether it be the locker room, whether it be a locker room with the coaches that we have, it's tough to find. And when you can have those brief moments to really block out all the noise and just focus on each other before you're about to take stage is very memorable to me, and will always be a memorable moment for me, whether it be an out-of-state game like the ESPN game American Heritage, or a state title game, or a big playoff game.
Last time at it, baby. I'm gonna give them something to remember right here. For sure, bet that. I'm back.
Let's do it.
You know, there's certain themes that I try to harp on throughout the week, certain motivational factors, just that I come up with on Sunday of things that we have to do to be successful that Friday. So those kind of go throughout the week, and you know, occasionally teams will provide even more bulletin board material for me or give me more that I can share with the team, and I just kind of reflect on all the stuff that we've talked about all week and that I think we have to be about in order to be successful, and I walk in and just whatever comes out, comes out.
Just be you tonight. The only way they can beat you is if they play harder. That is the only way they can beat you, is if they play harder. Don't lose a play. Don't focus on the game, the quarter. Don't lose a play. If you don't lose a play, you don't leave it up to chance. If you win every single play, you win a state championship. Yes, sir. It's been a hell of a ride, a hell of a team. Tonight's bigger than the game. Tonight is your legacy. Like it or not, tonight is your legacy. And you got one shot to write it. You got one shot to write it. And when it's over, it's done. There's no redos, no more chapters, nothing. So make sure you write what you want. Make sure you go out the right way tonight. Make sure you leave the legacy you want left behind, because it don't go away.
Walker gets the handoff, does not get the first down. There is Hayden Taminia. Tiller's going to try to get the first down. He's not going to get there. Ball is out. Milton's got it. Billy Voivoda comes up with the loose ball. Langston Hughes tries a fake in their own end, coughs it up.
There was a lot of great moments, great plays in state championship, but for me, it was our first drive when they tried to fake punt it. We stopped the fake punt, and then we just drove down the field and punched in with TJ. That set the tone for the game, in my opinion, and that just kept the offense rolling, and we knew what we had to do, and we picked up the defense as well.
Thought our staff, I think what this series does has highlighted how good of a staff we've got. When I come in here on Sundays before we play a game, every single week somebody on my staff on offense will give me something that changes the game that week. I usually can pick it out on Sunday when they give it to me, but sometimes I don't know that that's gonna be the play. So I could give you several plays that were memorable, but I'll pick a big play that really highlights how good of a staff we've got, and that it's not just, a quarterback doing things or a receiver catching the ball or me calling a play, it's us. When we came in on Sunday, Coach Caleb Reeves drew up a play that ended up going to Jordan Carasquillo for a big touchdown over the top. And when he brought that to me, it was something that we didn't have to create a new thing. It was just a tag to a play. I said, okay, that'll probably score. In practice, we were doing it the other direction, where Jordan would come in motion and Tristan would be the one probably that comes open. And for whatever reason during the game, in that flow of the part of the game, I kind of shifted gears. And I said, well, if Tristan's the motion, if Tip is the motion guy, that'll draw more eyes, and we'll have a guy just that wide open. And it worked, and I just remember the gasp in the stadium, of how wide open he was, and we made a great play, and that was a big time moment for that player. But it also kept coming for our team. Let's draw another big play up, and that part right there, I think, changed the game for us. And I'll always remember, where that came from, and I'm proud of the group of men that I get to do this with.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure it was Spike, and the safety was split in the middle of the field, and then Tip went in motion behind me, and I guess it was the outside linebacker that was on me. He switched out, and I literally just had to run down the field, and it was wide open. It was broken coverage.
We did a great job game planning this week, creating some plays to be able to help us get open against a great Langston Hughes defense. Just designing them and then making sure my play fakes were right on point. I think just goes back to the preparation we had all week, just designing, and props to the coaches and the players buying into it all.
Bump back, really worry about alignment, slamming, staying even, everything like that. Do the little things and we'll be okay.
It kind of felt like last year, but this year, it felt different because I was actually making plays out there.
I'd definitely probably say when I was blocking for Ethan on the jet sweep and he scored in the end zone, that really stood out because you know, I'm gonna do my job for everybody else to score too. So everybody gets an opportunity to do what they got to do. And Ethan turned out to score that play.
Roll out, pressure, trouble, sack back at the 27-yard line by Caleb Bell.
So the end of that half got crazy. One of the things that I've been telling our offense this whole year leading up to that point was at some point in your year, things are going to get loose. It's going to be wild, and the most mature team is going to be the one that makes it through that. And I kept trying to tell them, like, maybe it doesn't have to go wild. And it didn't for the longest time. And then that second quarter of the championship game, it went kind of wild. It got back and forth. And, you know, one of the coolest things about our team this particular year was none of that ever mattered to them. It was only the next play. We're always one play away. And one of the cool things about brotherhood at Milton, it's not a logo. It's not something we just put on the wall. It's a real thing that we practice all the way down from, you know, community to head coach to administration all the way into the locker room. And our coaching staff locker room feels that same way. There's never been a time where the finger was pointed to the other side of the ball or to any person. None of that mattered. You know, it was, well, the ball comes back to us. It's our job to score. And, you know, I know that Coach Willingham will say, well, it doesn't matter what the offense is doing. It's their job to stop them, so no matter the circumstance. And I think that mentality permeated through our kids really well this year. That, I mean, from what I understood about the sideline, because I coached from the press box, was there was never a moment where, as an offense, we felt like we were out of control. And that just give us the ball and we'll score again.
The play was near spike and I had a fade. And, you know, I just ran my route, just didn't do anything different. Ran my route, decided to come up wide open, caught the ball and celebrated with my teammates. It's like a jiu-jitsu kick, it's a roundhouse. So I decided to bow with it and then do my roundhouse, but Jordan almost got kicked, so I didn't want to fully extend my leg. It was a moment, man.
That first half was pretty crazy, but I remember sitting with my guys, sitting with the offense, and just telling them they gave us too much time. We're gonna go back down and score no matter what. Don't worry about them scoring, just whatever we can do whenever we have the ball in our hands, let's go put some points up.
We run out of time. And I had actually called that play right before we ran that play, but then I second guessed that play call and I told us to kill the ball, to spike the time, you know? And that's what he got as a signal. And I guess he knew what I really wanted, or he's just that kind of player. And he checked it to the go ball to CJ, and you know, we went in the locker room with a lot of momentum, and that's all we just knew we had to get there, because we weren't worried about our ability to get back in control of the game if we could just take a break for a second. So our ability to score right there and go back and forth, I mean, I know the fans, a lot of people that watched the game said, what a great game. It was pretty stressful on our end. But looking back, because we came out on top of that, it was pretty fun.
I like how the offense was just keeping us up, and while defense was like struggling a little bit, I like how they're just keeping us up there. And I like how it was like 12 seconds of the game and Luke threw to CJ Riley, and I think that was really big for us and waked us up.
I was right next to him, and it was like the craziest play to see on the field. Like, I was hype after, and I know CJ was hype, and I was trying to like dap him up and stuff. He was just staring the defender down.
I mean, there's so many fun plays from that game. You know,
I truly reflect back on the fact that I never felt like the game was out of our reach. I know we were going back and forth and everybody seemed to be scoring at will, but I felt like that night we could score 100 points if that's what it came down to. We were just clicking. Coach Jackson was in his bag, as the kids say, just calling such an incredible game. And just right there before halftime, when they score, then boom, we get the ball back and CJ catches that ball in the corner of the end zone over the defender. You just get that feeling that, whatever it's going to take tonight to score, we're going to be able to do that. And, the defense wasn't playing up to their standard and was having, somewhat of a slow start. And it was cool, too, to see the offensive guys go over and calm them down and just remind them that, look, this is a team sport. It takes all three phases of the game to win a championship. And whatever's going on your side of the ball right now is fine. We got your back. We can do whatever we need to do to win this game tonight. So you guys just get it together. And whenever, y'all are good, we'll play as a team and we'll finish this thing out.
A back-to-back title on the line. What's your message to your team right now in the locker room?
This is what we were made for. If we're the team that we say that we were made for this second half, and we'll come out and we'll dominate it and be that team that is number 2 in the country.
All right, bet.
Thank you.
Well, I think, obviously when you're giving up 35 points in the first half, as a defense coach, everything in your head is going crazy because, really it is the best defense I've probably ever coached, maybe ever will. You don't expect it. But sometimes, you're playing a great team, and it's usually not something huge. And that's probably the misconception people make about adjustments is you feel like something goes in and it's a wholesale change. Usually it's not. It's usually something that is very small or a reminder or something that you're telling them to remember, or sometimes just as a coach, getting out of the way. There's sometimes where, and I feel like some of that in the state championship games, I was trying to fix the problem by doing more. And I think the thing that you do when you go to make an adjustment is you go back to more of a basic approach, make a simple change to combat what they're doing, and then allow your kids to play. And I think that's where I landed. I remember walking, I'm pretty shook because you're thinking, our offense has played incredible. If we can find any stops, we're going to win. And so, I went and looked for the whiteboard. I found it, grabbed a little expo marker, and I went, in the back. We meet as coaches before at halftime. We discussed what we were going to do. It wasn't complex. It wasn't something that, just changes football. It's just shoring up the things that we do, making one or two little minor adjustments here or there, helping our best players get in the right place, and then looking around, making sure all our defense coaches understood and they were all in agreement. Coach Estes had a great idea. It's a collaboration. And then, I'm drawing it up, we're talking, we figured out 2 different ways to play how we wanted to play it. We go in, and the best thing about our team, and I've told numerous coaches this, is that they don't panic. They don't know any different than to win, and they don't know any different than to trust each other. So when I go in there and I'm talking, they're not complaining, they're not fussing at each other. They just know. They just know that whatever we're going to do is going to be the thing that will fix it. And they're going to fix it. They just do. And I think that's a special quality in a team, is the ability to not panic. Because even though everything around us is falling and it's different than anything we've done, and we're in a tough spot, they didn't flinch. They just knew. And so we give them the adjustments. We obviously there's some spirited conversation from me kind of at the end. And, I think I just kind of reminded them that to tackle. A lot of times football is just tackling, especially on defense, to tackle, to keep playing as hard as they are, trust what we're asking, and find the 2 or 3 stops to win the game. And that's all you can do is ask them.
It was just a very surreal moment. Obviously, we've been there before, so we know what we had to do. So just going into halftime, being up 1 score, we knew we had to come back out and keep pushing the pedal down and finish the game. And it was very surreal, winning our back-to-back state championship.
Yeah, take that inside all day.
probably would have to be my sack in I think it was the third quarter. The quarterback we were playing, I played against him when I was younger. We've been playing against each other since about 8U. The kid's super fast. I mean, if you watch the game, I missed the sack earlier that game. I didn't let that get me down. I came back in the second half, sacked the quarterback, made a big play for our team, and just glad I'm here to tell the tale.
You don't want to give up 35 points, but it is a great microcosm of the way our staff works together, the way our kids work together, and then how we work together as a group to accomplish things. And that's probably one of the things that makes it special here, is that there's just a vertical alignment of we're going to do this and we're going to win. And whatever we do together, we're going to do it together and we're going to fix it. And I thought that it's just a testament to them to go out there and shut out, because there's a lot of people who fold doing that. I mean, we're giving up more yards than we've given up, more points than we've given up all year in a first half. It's something we didn't see coming. And they just go out and do what they do and win a state championship. I mean, and on the biggest stage, which is awesome.
Whoa! Whoa! Yeah, TJ! Hey, boy! Yeah! That boy E. That boy E.
Hand off to Lester. Touchdown, Milton. And it is 55-35.
We're seniors now. We're not juniors or sophomores anymore. He told us it wasn't like how it was before, where it was like a yelling. Personally, our position coach, Coach Garnell, he made it very clear of our job. He told us that this is for everything, but he's not gonna overshoot it, because he's just gonna bring you into halftime nervous. I feel like he did a good job of telling us what to do and where to go, and that just helped us shut him out in the second half.
Gosh, there's so many, obviously, when you're on our defense and you're watching our offense, everything's explosive. It's incredible watching Luke throw his last ball, watching CJ make plays, and Ethan and TJ breaking tackles, and offensive line. That's fun to watch. But I think the thing I'll remember the most is just remember our last defensive possession. AJ comes off the corner, makes a sack, and I think it hit me then that it was the last time I'd get to coach him. And I think that was harder than I thought it would be. And I walked around and I hugged as many of the seniors as I could. And but it hit me then. And I'll always remember that. That feeling, it's not that it's over because you're super excited about what happened. It was just, I was so proud of them all year and who they've become for the last 2 years. And it was just that was our exclamation point. AJ gets that sack, and we're doing what we do. We're flying to the football and killing somebody's will and doing all that fun stuff that is defense. But it's just that realization that was the last time I get to call a play for them. And it's tough. It's tough.
One of the moments for me was towards the end of the game when we were gonna win, and we put Juice in, who got hurt earlier in the season. And just seeing him just get some yards and just being able to play was just I loved it. It was just a lot of fun just seeing him be able to get out in the field. It was really great.
I told you, bro. I told you. Woo, you heard it. Love you, boy. Love you, boy.
One of the top greatest teams in Georgia history, for sure. All that, boy. After all that, we gonna get you one. I got me one. Got me a Reed, boy. I got you one, boy. I got me a Reed, man.
And Milton now is the official back-to-back state champions. 25th consecutive win for the Milton Eagles as they defeat Langston Hughes 56-35 to win the 5A state championship game. Third state championship for Milton in their 75-year history in Wayne. All three of them have come in the last 7 years.
They're here, Milton. They've established themselves. They've become a powerhouse.
Clock ticking down, knowing that you're going to be going back-to-back. That was just a great moment for me and my teammates and my coaches to share with one another.
Honestly, it was one of the greatest feelings I've ever felt in my entire life. Like, honestly, I was just like really happy. You know, honestly, just looking around and seeing everybody just like the smiles on their faces, everyone just like cheering. You know, I've never felt anything better than that. Like, honestly, it was just great.
Man, my heart was just pumping because it's like back-to-back is hard, especially going 15-0 this year. I was so excited for me, my teammates.
I want us to be remembered as a team that we fight for everything. I feel like every single piece of meat we bite off, we fight for it. I mean, like, a lot of people might say that this team is gifted and we have everything given to us, but everything that is given is earned, I believe. Like, we just put so much work in that, and it shows really, like, whether it be fourth quarter, third quarter, like, it shows that this team really put the work in to be here. And I just feel like that's what we should be remembered as going forward in the future from now on.
You know, it was really cool for me, especially like 2027 class, because it's not a bad way to start your high school career off with just freshman, sophomore, back-to-back state championships.
That was the best feeling I've ever had, just knowing that, you know, we're back-to-back state champions, something that we've always wanted to do here at Milton, something that, you know, has never been done here. Just wanted to leave our legacy and leave our mark here at Milton.
They said we couldn't do it once, so I did it twice.
Coach, on behalf of Alpha Insurance and Georgia High School Association, we'd like to present you with the state championship trophy. Milton High School State Champions 2024.
We just want our legacy to be left. Obviously, we've done a bunch of things that many teams haven't done, going back-to-back, 15-0. And it's just great. Our senior class, very successful people in that. Hopefully they go into college and continue great things. So obviously, I just want that legacy to be staple to Milton history.
I want this team to be remembered as like a team that's always going to compete. You know, a team that's going to give you their best and never slack. You know, I want the team to finish what we started. You know, and I want the team to be able to be disciplined and smart on the field.
The brotherhood, the effort, the toughness, they embody all of that. And from the outside, I'm sure people look at our kids and think, oh, they're so talented, they should always win and whatever. But they don't see every day how they interact with each other and how they interact with us and how they interact competitively and in the weight room and everything they do. It just embodies everything that's been built at Milton. And to put that bow on it, have a perfect season, it just makes it special. Like, for them to be remembered as the best team, you know, in America, it's fitting because you couldn't have a better group of young men, leaders, role players. Everybody believes in what they're doing is the thing that helps us be successful. And I'm not sure that I could be any more blessed to be a part of it. Like, just to witness it, the things you think about when you first as a young coach, hope you coach a team somewhere in that realm, and you get to watch them every day be the great kids that they are. And, you know, like, the staff embodies it, the brotherhood, the effort, and the toughness. We all love each other. I mean, it's just it's different. And I don't know how to quantify it. I don't know how to put that into words, but I think the way that Coach puts it is, our motto's bet. It's who we are. And there couldn't have been a team that drew it up better. And for them, the collective group between last year's to this year, it's just, they embody it all. Like, they embraced it all. Everything's been built in this place since 17 to right now. It just peaked, I think, as Now, I'm not saying it's over because this place is always going to be great, but it's like a peak point of how all those things match. And you get the best of the best in the best that they do. And I don't think there's another way to put it other than bet. Like it's really great. And I hope they're remembered forever. And I can't wait in 5 years to get back with them, and 10 and 20, because forever we're legends because we did it together.
We're going with you. Can't forget about my guy. So thankful for this guy. He's got me so much better the past year. So props to you, man.
AKA L5, the Money Man. That's the nickname.
Money Man.
Everybody eat. You saw what it was. Everybody.
Printing money. Printing money. I wanted this team to be remembered as just a true brotherhood. I feel like we all bought in together. We were all very close on and off the field, and I think that showed on Friday nights. We just had a lot of fun going out there and playing for each other. I think this group was just so close, and we couldn't be disconnected.
And that's all, folks.
Look, he's right there. That's too big.
Hey, man, 2 for 2, 15 games straight, you know what we do. Hey, all this hard work, all them lifts, all the sprints, pay out at this moment right here, man. Hey, with my guys, one want to celebrate with no one else, man. Two. Hey, y'all ready? 2 for 2. 2 for 2.
You know, truly just as perfect. They had such a tall task in front of them of, we weren't going to sneak up on anybody this year. And everybody knew that we were coming. Everybody knew what we had. We were everybody's Super Bowl. And to ask them to go out and truly win everything, it was just such a tall task, but it's one that they wanted. You know, this group didn't lose a single thing going back to a spring game, a 7-on-7, a scrimmage, nothing all year long. And that's tough to do over a 12-month period. So I hope what they did, what they accomplished is always recognized and remembered. You know, I don't want to say that I hope they're the greatest team ever, because I would like to be here for a while, and I don't want to put that ceiling on me and the program. You know, the hope is that there could be teams that come and do the same thing, but this group definitely just deserves to be known for their perfection, and appreciated for how hard it was to achieve that, and how they had to go each and every day and just do everything right to get there.